This video entitled Using Sum is actually going to be kind of the gateway, 2 or 3 more videos where we're going to talk about things called aggregate functions. Now, there are a number of functions built in to Microsoft SQL Server that you can use, and when you use these in Transact SQL, there's a lot of power and you can really dig some meaning out of your data. Now, the 3 aggregate functions that are most commonly used that we're going to look at in this course are the sum function, and this just creates a total of all the values returned by the query for the particular column that you've set the sum on. Average works very much the same way. It creates an average of all the values that are returned by that particular query for whatever column you're averaging. And then the real interesting one is count, and this returns or counts the number of occurrences of values returned by that query for that particular column that you're running the count aggregate on. So what I'm going to do here is, in this video, we're going to take a look at the sum aggregate function, and then we'll take a look at average and count in their own separate videos. And the best way to understand these is just to see them happen. So let's jump out to the SQL Server Management Studio, and you'll notice that I've opened a new query window right here, and I have connected to my database, and I'm going to work in, of course, the AdventureWorks 2012 database. Now we're going to use a different table this time. We're going to use the sales.salesorder table, and I want to show you why. I'm going to start off, I'm just going to select asterisk at all the columns from the sales, and notice right here I can just go down arrow, and notice I can go down and up, but when I get to the one I want, sales order detail, just press enter and it will input that one for me. Okay, now I'm going to highlight this and execute it, and this is the data that we're looking at. Now notice we have sales order ID, sales order detail, carrier tracking number, and right here we have an order quantity, a product ID. Notice we have special offer ID. We're going to play with that a little bit later. Unit price, and then right here, the line total on that particular order. Well, let's just say that we want to see, just for information here, how much money have we made? What kind of sales have we had? If we just get a sum of all of these line totals. Okay, so here's the line total, and notice there are 121,000 rows in this table. A lot of data in this table. So let's do a select, and I am going to pull, I'm going to build this for you in a way I hope will make a little more sense to you. I want to look at the line total column from sales.salesorder okay? But remember, I wanted the sum of this. So how do I get the sum? I use the keyword sum, then I enclose in parentheses the column that I'm wanting to use. And so I can actually say that sum is a function, really is a built-in function that's doing this aggregation for me. So I will execute this query, but notice no column name. Well, let's start to add in some of the things we've learned. We want to alias this column. And so let's just put a space here and we'll say line total sum. Now, when I tried to put a space and put this in here, the query analyzer says, wait a minute, I'm confused now. What is the sum about? Well, I need to put this in what's called literals, and I'll put single quotes on both sides. And now it knows, oh, you want me to treat all of this as if it was one word. And I am going to kick the from down to the next line so we can see it. I'll execute that, and there's my line total sum with all of those. Now, what if we wanted to limit that to certain things? Okay, well, I'm going to go back and execute everything again. And notice, remember we had these special offer IDs right here? Well, if we scroll down through here, we can see that there's a number of different special offer ID numbers, right? There was one, there was an 18 or a 16 or something. There's a 2. Well, how can I find those? Well, we can use our old friend distinct. I'm just going to change this one up here to distinct special offer ID from sales, and we'll take that asterisk out. And notice this is going to give me a list, and I'm also going to order those by that special offer ID. So now we're starting to use all the tools we're learning as we're moving through the course. I'll execute that, and notice these are all the special offer IDs we have. Well, notice there's not a 10, right? There's not a 6, but we'll use, say, special offer ID 4, okay? And so now we want to select the sum of the line total, and we're going to use this column alias here. And we're going to come from sales order ID detail, Okay, then we're going to come down and we're going to say where special offer ID equals 4. And this will give us the total of all of our special offer ID 4s. Now, when we get to grouping, we can talk about how to do this a little more elegantly, but still, this is the way to use sum to kind of dig into your data and find totals of your data in various places. A lot of different ways to skin this cat, as they say, but this is one cool way right here. So that's the sum function, if you will, the sum aggregation tool.